50% from the three-point line, 46% from the field. Welcome to Players Only. I'm Chris Webber, Isiah Thomas, Kevin McHale, the two champions to my left, and of course in Studio J. Coming up, we have Steve Smith, Candace Parker, and Greg Anthony. But we have a 9-game night, and before we get out to any more news, let's get out to our man Dennis Scott, who is out and ready for the game. D. Scott, I wanted to ask you, with the trade that's going on in Philly, you look at the starting lineup, but one thing stands out to me, and that's J.J. Redick. He's averaging 18 points. He's shooting 44%, 37% from the three-point line, and he's playing 31 minutes a game. But he's not a starter. Do you think that this will change? Is this the starting lineup that we'll see at the end of the season, D. Scott?
It possibly will stick that way, C-Webb, and guys, here's why. We're still trying to figure out McHale folks, keeping him in the starting lineup and keeping him confident. But knowing when you go down the stretch in the fourth quarter, you know J.J. Redick will be on the floor for spacing. And now you bring in Jimmy Butler, like we showed in the highlights in Charlotte the other night. He will guard the offensive explosive wing guy, and he'll take the big shot. So at the end of the day, I think the Sixers are very happy. The fans are very happy to have Jimmy Butler because he's a two-way guy. But at the end of the night, it's still about Joel Embiid, the big fella down low.
You know, 3D, when you were in Minnesota, last week or, maybe 10 days or so ago, and, you were seeing Jimmy Butler in Minnesota. Now you're seeing him in Philadelphia. Can you just talk to us about maybe some of the differences that you're seeing, not from his basketball play, but just in terms of his attitude and his whole feel-good about himself?
Isiah, such a great point. After talking to Jimmy Butler before the game, he's talked to Joel Embiid, he's talked to Ben Simmons, and all three guys are saying, play your game, be who you are. As long as I know you're playing hard every night, and as long as I know the bottom line we all want to win, let's be ourselves. And I think that's the biggest part. In Minnesota, I think Jimmy was being himself, but that crew maybe couldn't handle it. I think this crew here in 76ers land, McHale and Isiah and C-Webb, they understand what Jimmy's all about, and so far so good. They're off to a great start.
Two-part question for you, Dennis. First, is Fultz able to get some confidence or keep a little confidence with the role he has? And secondly, has the MVP for Embiid talk started in Philly?
Well, no question. I'll go with the latter first. Fans around this city are excited. They hope the big fella can continue to play the way he's playing, get the team back into the playoffs, and obviously go deeper. But the MVP conversation has started for the big fella. As far as folks, I'm going to come back to you guys with this. I'm all about seeing a young man play with some confidence. We know it's so much been made about his shot. I don't see the guys just out there having fun playing basketball. Maybe if we get that guy back, maybe the free throw and the shooting and everything else falls into place. But how do you have fun coming to work when it doesn't really look like it to me?
Thank you so much, D. Scott. We appreciate it. We'll be looking forward to you sticking somebody up at the end of the game, getting our Players Only interview as only you do, D. Scott.
Baby.
Players Only, baby.
And don't leave him hanging.
Guys, we heard D. Scott talk about it, just kind of the optimism there in 76 in land, and they should have it. I mean, we've been watching this process of them building and kind of developing young talent for a while, but to you guys, we talked a little bit about it, but do you guys see this being the starting lineup with Jimmy Butler coming in? I mean, Butler, he's doing his thing. He's out shooting 49% from the field, 39% from threes, and he's averaging 20 points. But since being with this team, he's doing even better than Zeke. Do you see this being the starting lineup and with his role on the team?
I see as time continues to develop, yes. And the reason why is because the unknown, I think Wilson Chandler is going to play an important part in this also.
Yeah.
So when you got Butler, Chandler, and Simmons out on the floor, and you're talking about three guys that can switch, three guys that can defend their position, and then they're long, and then they have length, and then those three guys can rebound. So you're talking about putting three guys out there together in terms of Chandler, Butler, and Simmons, who can rebound and defend. That's going to be a tough combination, I think, for them to break up if they can ever develop chemistry.
K-Mac, you've been a coach, a GM in this. With this type of team, what type of style would you play? Being that Isiah just said you can get a stop, you can get a rebound, would you slow it down with a guy like Butler? Would you speed it up? You love big fellas running. Would you come out of Embiid? But what should this team's personality be going forward?
I'd run every chance we had because I think easy baskets are a premium in the NBA. And Joel Embiid can run. And he can get those really, really low seals. But it's simple. If Joel Embiid is out, doesn't get the rebound and is out running ahead of the pack, I'm trying to get that thing inside. I'm telling him, if Joel Embiid's in front of you, let's drop it into the big horse and we're playing on the side. And if Joel Embiid is trailing the play, I say let the wings attack. And you have almost two different breaks just because he's such a versatile guy. He can step into that late three. But it's all about him. If I'm the coach, I'm saying, big fella's in front of you, he's getting the ball. Big fella's in back of you, go and play basketball until he gets there.
Yeah, wait for him to get up there. Yeah, and we know that, I'm a big fan of him. We know that you're a big fan of him. And you talked a little bit about him earlier today. Let's see what you were talking about.
Well, Kevin McHale, and we're back in the post, and I'm really excited to talk about one of my favorite players, the new age big man in Joel Embiid for the Philadelphia 76ers. This young man just scores in so many different ways. He's got the ability to go inside play, outside play, make from the perimeter. He just is a wonderful player. And for all you young guys out there now that are growing and you're projected to be 6'9", 6'10", 6'11", learn how to do a little bit of everything. Learn how to handle the ball, learn how to pass, learn how to just go in there, block shots, defend, do all those things. And a great guy to watch is Joel Embiid. And I love the way he plays. I love his blend of outside and inside basketball. You can see right here, Joel starts on the outside, gives up the ball, and watch what he does. He just beats his man to the board, doesn't give up on the play. He starts that play with a pass and finishes it with a tip dunk. Again, you're going to see him. He spreads out the court because he can play from out there. Now I love this little drop handoff. Watch what he does. He just gets to the front of the rim, and that's where you go when you have those little drop passes from the wing. He gets to the front of the rim. He pump fakes it here. Look at this. They need a three. What does he do? He steps up and makes it when it really matters. And that's the thing about him I love. He can make that three-pointer. And right here is one of my favorite plays he has. Watch him bury the guy. Look him body hunt. On that post-up, he ran down the middle of the floor, and he went and he body hunted the guys. And when I talk about body hunting, I'm talking about, I set a pick up here high. I'm going to look for the nearest body down here, and when I hit him, I'm going to hit him, and I'm going to seal. I'm going to get wide. I want to get the ball right here. Joel Embiid got the ball inside the charge circle. So all you young guys out there, when you set those picks and you roll hard, find a body to run into. Go body hunt. Go find a guy. Seal him. Get the ball in the paint. Work on your handle. Work on your shot. But be an all-around player. But don't forget this paint. That is very good. And Joel Embiid's ability to score in this paint is going to help him next year in the playoffs.
Thanks for that, K-Mac. And I like how, you change up outfits real quick.
Absolutely. You can't, you got to move it out. You're moving around a little bit. Exactly, yeah.
I love that. And Zeke, so much has been made of all the number one picks of this Philadelphia team. But Markelle Fultz, the number one pick in last year's draft, he was limited to 14 games because of a shoulder injury. He's playing pretty well, 9 points, 43% from the field, 34% from three, but what do you see the development? Where do you see this young man's development right now?
He's got to become a confident jump shooter, and he's got to become a confident three-point shooter. And until that happens, there's always going to be question marks about his game. Now his athleticism is off the charts, and I do think he can score, around the basket when he get it in the open court and in transition. But in terms of becoming, a shooter, he's going to have to work on that. And, one of the reasons why we harp on him and we criticize a little bit so much about him is because, as you said, Chris, he's the number one pick. And when you're the number one pick in the draft, I'm sorry, expectations come along with being the number one pick in the draft. And, we can make up excuses for you, but when you're number one in the draft, there's some expectations and a lot of weight that comes with being the number one pick. Now, if you're the number 15 pick in the draft, what you're doing right now, we're happy with, and everybody's okay with it, and you're a good rookie or a good second-year player. But when you're the number one pick in the draft, you got to bring it.
Yeah, and definitely
you do.
And it's going to be tough because it's really hard to improve during the regular season. So the odds are against him. But if he puts in that work, because it seems like you always can get better in the